You're up.
Okay. So thinking about the most interesting thing that's going on in my sphere, which is communication and real-time information, obviously the geolocation stuff is a big deal, right? So you see Foursquare, you see Gowalla, you see Twitter kind of moving into this space. There's a lot of interesting stuff going on with it, but people are sort of overlaying game mechanics, and you're hearing a lot about that in some place, right? So taking real life, codifying it into a digital way, and then applying sort of interactive tools on top of that, I think is something that's really innovative and hasn't really been done before to the degree that it's being done now. You saw people start to go down that path. Obviously, I think Facebook was a really good step in that direction, because it was your friends, and all of a sudden you could see your friends online, and
that changed everything. Suddenly, when the network was the trust was built inherently into your network.
As the people you were talking to anyway, but all of a sudden you could send them private messages, they could leave stuff on your wall. So there was this behavior that maybe there wasn't even an analogy to it in real life, but all of a sudden people could do it digitally. And then on top of that, you could sort of strengthen bonds between people that were like you met them once or whatever in a different country or a different city, and then you could connect for the rest of your life, and you'd see pictures of it going by. So seeing all that was sort of the groundwork and the foundation for this next generation that you're seeing now. And it's sort of, okay, we've got your friends online, we've got basic communication down, let's start gathering sort of implicit data about things that you're doing. And I used to be at Last.fm, and they were sort of innovators in this space where they would watch what you would listen to and track that and keep a sort of comprehensive record of what you listen to. And now you're starting to see that applied to other areas. So, for instance, with Foursquare, where do I go? I'm at Starbucks right now, I'm at the Hilton right now. Let's keep all of that tracked, and then you'll see some emergent behavior around that. So I check in at the Hilton, and all of a sudden all my friends are here, because they saw that I was here. And this is something before I would have been able to do if I messaged everyone directly, or maybe even through Twitter saying that I'm there, but because it's a domain-specific application that applies to location, everyone knows to look at that feed for where people are. So you're really tuned into that. And something I've heard people say is they don't like it when people hook their Foursquare up to their Twitter, and the Foursquare information comes out as a tweet, because they want that in a separate way. Even if they see it all at once, they want it distinct from the other kind of information, which is more conversation-based, whereas this is more...
Which we saw with Twitter and Facebook, Like people get, and even though TweetDeck has that functionality built in, to it, where I can post, and everybody tries it, Like I try, whatever, and then you sort of immediately realize, like, these are fundamentally different things. They appear to be the same.
Exactly.
They are fundamentally different. That emerges. Now, you work with TweetDeck. So one of the things that I teach social media, I teach all this kind of stuff. TweetDeck changed the way Twitter functioned. I was here when they launched Twitter, and it was a joke. People now tell the story like it was a raging success. It was not a raging success when it was here. It took several months for the desktop application to catch on. It wasn't the phone that made Twitter take off. What have you guys seen with TweetDeck in terms of the ways what you guys are developing and what you're doing with it that you're like, this is pretty cool?
So if you look at the usage of TweetDeck, people really do use it as sort of their social media dashboard to gather a lot of information all at once. The sort of most popular use case that we see is people running multiple Twitter searches. And that's something that you obviously can't do with a single column interface. You'll notice if you're in a panel or something that everyone will have their TweetDeck open, and they'll have the hashtag for that panel or some keywords that are being spoken about. So you can see that flowing by, but at the same time you can see your direct messages and you can see your friends. And so it's really attention deficit disorder to do that. But at the same time,
you literally just described my TweetDeck.
Is it? It's what's going on right now? What's going on with me? You have sort of these different contexts that you can see all at once. And then the more information that's flowing through that, the sort of more entertaining it is. But we want to give you ways to make it less work to absorb it. Something else that's really popular with what we do is the fine-grained notification system.
Is the what?
Fine-grained notification system. So you can set up sort of different types of notification on different types of information. So my direct messages, I get the full notification, see the message pop up because it's very important to me. But I have some keywords that I'm looking after that I'm interested in, but not as interested. So it just says there's 5 new messages here without all the detail, And some stuff I'm happy to check up on at the end of the day, and I don't want to be notified ever. I'm happy to read through 200 tweets before I go to bed.
Which takes 10 minutes or 5 minutes.
Exactly. So it's sort of different levels of attention and being able to control that.
So we got just about 25 seconds left, and I don't want to get you in trouble, and I don't know. Are we at some point, are we going to see Foursquare or Gowalla integrated through TweetDeck?
Yes.
So this is the thing, because so TweetDeck has evolved, or was it always the idea that this is going to be the dashboard for all your social media?
That was always the idea, and I mean, Twitter really set the standard for that, So as these other services get popular, we will be integrated.
That's awesome, and that gets us to 5 minutes, and thank you very much.
Thank you.